Helpful for life.
So, you've put away the leftovers and you've cleaned the dishes. All done, right? Unfortunately, not yet. You still have to do the counters and the appliances. However, if you have somebody else with you, have them do the counters and appliances while you do the dishes, or vice versa. Many hands make for light work. First, we'll address the counters. In case you didn't know, counters can grow bacteria. This is made worse if the counters are wet or if they have food matter on them. So make sure to clean up any spills soon after they occur. Generally, for any surface, you want to first sweep off any crumbs or food matter into your hand, into the sink, into the trash, and then clean with a cleaning solution. The shit towels are a great tool for this. Now, throughout my life, I've lived with many different types of counters, different colors, patterns, materials, things like that. When I was in college, we had white tile countertops. Now, this was great when I was cleaning so I could easily see all of the dirty spots. It also kind of sucked because whenever it was slightly dirty, you could see all of the dirt. So if you have patterned counters like this or a darker colored countertop, make sure to get down low and see if you see any spots or crumbs or anything that you may not be able to see from directly above. You also may not have realized it, but different material countertops need to be treated differently. Today, we're not going to cover all of the possible countertops, but we're going to cover the ones that are the most popular. First, for some general advice. Warm water and a mild dish soap are good for cleaning pretty much anything. You can mix it up in a bowl and dip your towel into it, or you can put it in a spray bottle. Don't drown the counters though. Just get them a little wet, a little damp. If you're going to go to the store and buy some countertop spray, make sure to read the label to see if it's safe on your material. If you prefer to go the more natural route and use vinegar or lemon or something like that, make sure to pay attention to these videos because those can actually damage certain countertop materials. When cutting things up, always use a cutting board or at least a plate. You will damage some counters when you cut directly on them. And with the exception of wood, most counters will damage or dull the knife. So just don't do it. Always use a trivet underneath your hot pans. Certain countertop materials can handle the heat better than others, but it's just not worth the risk. Some countertops could melt, scorch, discolor, split, crack, or you could damage the sealant. If you find yourself with a hot pan in your hand, nowhere to put it, here are a few ideas for you to put it somewhere quickly while you find a trivet. Put the pan in the oven or on a stove. If it's going to burn, make sure to turn the heat off. You could also, if your sink is metal, put the pan in the sink or on the sink. You could also put the pan on top of another pan. Oh, and you can also open the oven and put the pan on the oven door.
It's time for a mini science lesson. One last thing before diving into specifics, let's talk about pH. In case you aren't familiar with pH, it's a scale of how acidic or basic something is. It goes from 0, which is very acidic, to 14, which is very basic, also known as alkaline. And smack dab in the middle is a pH of 7, which is called neutral. Pure water has a pH of 7. The reason this is relevant here is that acids or bases can damage certain counters, and if they're strong enough, they can even be dangerous to touch. Here are some other common things across the scale. This has been a mini science lesson.